Well, hello there, and welcome to tonight's episode of 20 Sides of Failure Plays Curse of Strahd. I am finally here, and have missed you terribly. And now, for my players. Starting in the bottom corner, we have our druid.
Hello everybody, it is your friendly neighborhood Ness here, and I play the Furball Druid, Sonder Elwood, who is... What is the term of phrase that the kids use nowadays? Really fucking going through it, I think. But it's fine, just don't look too closely.
Speaking of going through it, how are we, Amira?
Loving life. Couldn't be happier. Fucking wish I was anywhere else right now. Hi everybody. I am English Ray and I play the human Baba cleric A Miracle. She's really not enjoying this.
And then, if we're not enjoying it, then there must be someone that is. Right, Aurora?
Absolutely right. Hello. I'm Nurin Nightingale, and I will be playing Aurora Rose, who right now doesn't exactly hate life. She's actually feeling happy and pretty hopeful.
And last, but certainly by no means least, we have our artificer.
Hello there, I'm Dusky B. I'll be playing Jack with his left-hand mechanical man king. Yeah. Yeah!
Just, yeah. So, where we left off last session, our players decided that they were going to go back to Yester Hill. They were going to go back to the Druid stronghold to potentially steal the gem that the Druids were hoarding back for the Martikovs. Our group were unsuccessful in stealthing, with Azazel getting seen by the Druids of Yester Hill. He managed to thankfully convince them that he was on their side, and therefore no fight happened, but it did mean that the party left technically empty-handed. They returned to Krezk, and a plan was made, but plans sometimes change. I'm going to actually start with Aurora.
Hello.
You and Azazel have essentially taken to the prepared bedroom, with everyone else either sleeping with the animals or sleeping in the chairs and the armchairs in the living room. And you're woken early in the morning by Azazel shaking you by the shoulders.
What is it? Something the matter?
Nothing's the matter, but we don't have a lot of time. I found this and I want you to have it. And he hands over what looks to be some kind of medallion. Decently large pendant, probably would cover the entirety of your clavicle.
Mm-hmm.
Looks to be some kind of a sun pendant with a very large ruby stone in the middle, and it's covered in a lot of intricate Celtic knot style carvings.
It's beautiful. Any reason why?
Well, I found it by the tree. I thought it'd be a good idea for you to have it.
All right. Thank you. Can she do a religion check on it?
Of course.
To try and... Hey, 22.
All right then. With a 22, there's definitely multiple gods that would technically be related to images like the sun. You know of gods, like off the top of your head. Lathander would be the immediate one that jumps out to your mind as someone linked to the sun. But this doesn't really fit his style. It doesn't necessarily fit what you would recognise anyway as something that would be belonging to him. But you do remember, I'll say, with that kind of a role, that one of the gods that the Barovians worshipped is called the Morning Lord. And his entire dogma is about the sun and the dawn and things of that nature.
Okay. She'll go ahead, she'll put it on. She'll if she can like tuck it under her clothes or something, she will. But yeah, she'll wear it.
Easy enough done. It's heavy though, it's cold. You can feel like the metal touching your skin. It's definitely something that feels known, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Now, I'm going to be gone. I don't know how long for. Keep yourself safe, alright? Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That covers a lot. I'll do my best, though. You as well. You be safe, too.
Don't know how long I'll be, but, as I said, I'll see you soon.
Again, just be safe. See you soon.
And with a smile, he kind of ruffles your already messy bedhead, but very quietly leaves through the bedroom door, and you can just hear on the edge of your periphery perception the front door opening and closing very quietly.
Mm-hmm. At this point, I guess she'll stay up and kind of get dressed and like think more about the that particular medallion.
That's fair enough. In fairness, he hasn't woken you up much earlier than any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more the sense of he wanted to be able to leave before people essentially were questioning him on what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, she'll kind of just again stay up, start kind of getting ready for the day. And stay in the room until she starts hearing like everybody else up.
Mm-hmm. guess eager is everyone else getting up. It's not a good way of saying that. But are people getting up early? They're getting up as they wake.
Sonder is getting up a little bit early to attune to the spear, the blood spear that he got. But, like, he doesn't want to wake anybody else up. So Amira and Jack were also in the, like, animal pen with him. So he'd kind of just, like, step over both of them, and go to the edge of, like, where the pen and the rest of the house are, and kind of just sit on the floor and just hold the spear in both of his hands and just close his eyes and start feeling it out.
Jack would also have been getting up a bit early. Primarily just to start getting chores done.
Same.
Collecting eggs, cutting firewood, milking the cows if they need to be milked.
That's fair enough. In fairness, the... What's it called?
The rooster?
I forgot the word that I was going to use, and now it's the thing of like... yes.
Describe word. We may be able to help.
Gonna leave that for now. Okay, so... The Burgomaster, that's the word I was looking for. I was there like Mayor, it's like his name is not Mr. Mayor. The Burgomaster and his wife are up decently early as well. But that's more because of routine. It's the idea of, they're farmers. They are more often than not up with the dawn. But they see you, Sonder, attuning to the spear. Don't really ask any questions. They see Jack is already pottering about with bits and pieces here and there, and they give you an appreciative nod to Jack. The Burgomaster kind of joins you, so while you're doing the cows, he's looking to the goats. Immediately, Irina and the wife that I've forgotten the name of... Where is Dad's wife? The Burgomaster's wife. Like, they immediately get straight into cleaning, straightening up the house from the night before, basically making sure that it's tidy from whatever mess that you made. It's Dimitri.
Didn't Amira want to start chopping wood as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I didn't remember if that was just me being stupid or not, but memory.
I'll say while you fully attune to the spear, Sonder. So it's now the +2 spear that we added to your character sheet. If I remember correctly.
The one that says the blood spear or not the regular spear?
Yes, so you can now use the blood spear as it is intended. And we can delete the regular spear.
Ayo. I have a new bonk stick, guys. Watch out.
Woo! Woo!
Who doesn't love a +2 bonk stick?
Especially when I have the bonk stick is named the blood spear.
Is that a play on words? I'm confused.
Bonk stick, blood spear.
It's a more intimidating name for a bonk stick.
Oh my goodness, I love it. but you've attuned to the spear, and Aurora, were you trying to attune to the necklace, or were you just wearing it?
Yeah, she'll try to attune to it.
You do attune to it. And I'm going to send you a picture of the description. Because Foundry's being a butthole, and I can't create it as an item, apparently.
Fair
How
enough.
rude.
So I'm going to send you a picture of the description with the thing of, like, you've attuned to it, so you have access to all of this.
Okay.
As I really quickly get a Discord to keep it private from everyone else. But while people are getting about their chores, they hear a very sudden knock at the door. And there's a decent bit of firmness to it too.
Jack, if the Burgermaster's not answering it, Jack will go answer it. It is his home.
Oh no, he does go and answer it. There's definitely a sense of urgency for it, because who would be knocking on his door at this time? And you are greeted to a figure, not what you were expecting. Standing in the doorway to this cottage is a man that at the very least is like 6'4". His head is actually taller than the door frame of the cottage. He's wearing simple black robes, but then it's not quite a scarf, but it's essentially a shoulder covering that goes over the robes, is covered in very intricately designed sun ray and sunburst patterns. He has a very androgynous face, but it leans more towards the masculine. And his face is timeless. He could be anywhere from his early 20s to his 40s, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Appears to be human, though. He has long blonde hair that is scraped away from his face and brought into almost a half ponytail at the back, where what would be the hairline is tied back and everything else is left to flow down in long blonde locks. He looks down at the Burgomaster with these very striking, pale blue eyes. As he looks to the Burgomaster and goes, "Good morning, Dimitri. I hope I am not disturbing you." The Burgomaster, there is a pause. He goes, "Oh, my apologies, sir, I was not expecting guests. Please do come on in, please. Everyone." And he turns to the rest of the party that are whoever is gathered inside. So I'm in my head. This is everyone but Amira, because Amira was outside chopping wood. But please,
Wholeheartedly agree with you. Yes, I am outside.
outside chopping wood. Everyone, this is the abbot. He ducks sideways to go under the doorframe and into this cottage. And he fills up just so much space. Literally, but also metaphorically, it's almost like this aura stretches from him to smother the entire cottage.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Actually, it's really convenient that you're here as well. We were planning on making the trip up the mountain to go meet you as well.
The abbot lets out like a soft little sigh and a smile as he looks to you, Jack. I have some meetings and discussions to have with our burgomaster. It's not necessarily a conversation that has to be private, but I would understand if Dimitri, you would want to go somewhere where we are not overheard. And the burgomaster shakes a hand, and goes, do not be silly, please, come to the table. And he escorts this man into the open plan dining room. And chairs have been left at the table, so it seems to be a free invitation if anyone wants to join.
Say it well.
Jack will also.
Mm-hmm.
Without really being stary, Saya does has her eyes on Albert, because this is the man she's been trying to see. So she's kind of like, aha, you're here. I now have name to face. We need to talk later.
Mm-hmm.
Aurora would take a seat if there's any left.
Sandra will kind of just like nervously look like, I don't know if we're supposed to hear this conversation, but everybody else is sitting down, so I'm just gonna stand over here. And just kind of like lean back against like the wall and be part of the conversation, but not actually sit down, if that makes any sense.
Completely fair. The abbot takes a seat at the head of the table, with Dimitri taking the other side. And Dimitri's wife Anna, seeing something happening, comes to stand at her husband's shoulder, immediately putting her hand on him just to be that sense of reassurance. The abbot looks Dimitri right in the eye, unblinking, unflinching. I was made aware that your son died recently. And there's... The burgomaster does a brilliant job at keeping his face neutral. But there is a slight twitch of the lip that hints to something beneath the surface. I will not mince words with you, Dimitri. I have the ability to bring your son back. And at the very least you will have one of your children with you. And I ask for a simple trade of payment in return. There's no hesitation, but it's not from Dimitri, it's from Anna. Anna speaks up for the two of them and says, whatever price. If you truly have the power to bring back our son in a healthy way, I must accept. And the abbot nods. There is a girl in my care that is in need of a dress. And not just any dress, mind you. We are in need of a wedding dress. If I perform this miracle for you, I will give you a month. A month to bring me a wedding dress, so that the bride can be wed properly. I do not think that is that much of a task. You can see the cogs turning in both of their faces. But eventually Dimitri nods. A month gives us time to either raise funds or find a seamstress. We accept your offer. And with that, the abbot nods. And with this grace, almost feels like he's floating. He begins to walk to the back garden. And towards the makeshift gravesite. Jack's following. Alright then.
Say is too.
Amira, roll a perception check for me, please.
That's a 14.
Okay. You are chopping wood, doing your daily chores to earn your keep. And I will give you a turn to figure out something as you hear people walking towards the back door.
They're walking towards the back door.
So they're walking towards you.
Is there any way that I can like dart to like the front door, like as they're coming out I'm going round so they don't see me?
You can either dart or you can try and stealth it. It's up to you. Because if you stealth, it's against his perception. Whereas if you dash, it's then you just trying to put distance, but people are going to be aware that something happened.
I guess I'm gonna have to try to stealth it then.
Alright then.
Oh, that's not good. That's a 10.
So that's everyone in the party would be aware of that. And it's safe to say that he would be as well.
Before I walk, I do want to put my hood up. Before I go, I do want to put my hood up and just kind of try to walk.
Is there a a way, if they're actively heading towards the back door, can Sonder pipe up and be like, "Oh, I think I forgot something. Let me get it out of your way first," and try to like skirt around them and go out the back door first and just be like, "I'm here, fucking run for it."
I will say this, because, in all honesty, the abbot doesn't really care. Like, you can tell very quickly after, like, oh, let me just get this. Like, he just follows right behind you.
Well, at least I am taller than him, so I can provide a little bit of fucking cover. Sonder will just start, like, talking, like, "Oh, Mr. Abbott, sir, it's such a great honor to meet you, and we've been traveling for a while, and blah, 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 blah. This is such a great area," just very loudly, just hoping I'm here against the memo.
And in that case, then, because you're doing that, and with the perception check of 14, Amira gets a little bit of an extra heads up. So I'll say that you don't have to necessarily dash anymore, but you have the time to put your hood up and walk towards the front of the house.
I would like to do that, please.
Now, it's still very obvious that someone has been in the back garden, considering wood is half chopped and the axe is still laid there ready for use. And now there's no one here.
That's fine.
But Sonder can just run over and be like, "I left this a mess yesterday. It's my bad. I'll clean it up. Give me like 2 seconds."
The abbot gives you... He does give you a smile. He goes, "There's no need. From what I can tell, the graveyard is past your activity." As he just kind of moves around you to head towards the back section of the garden.
Sonder just, like, mentally lets out a massive sigh of relief, but is just, like, smiling and, like, "Oh, yes, of course, do whatever you have to do." But he stays, like, back towards the door, so they'll have to get past him to go back inside. And he just kind of, like, nervously watches, because this is bad juju. Like, he is like, if something is dead, it should fucking stay dead. Like, this is not a good idea. He's basically being, like, a fucking body block in case, like, something really bad happens. They have to go through him to get to the rest of the house.
I mean, in fairness, the entire household is, I'm assuming, following into the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to see this.
This is not fucking good.
But you watch as the abbot walks over to a grave that some of you had noticed the first time that you came out here, the freshest dug grave. And he very simply just begins to kneel, lowers himself so that he can actually reach the ground, and places his hand on the dirt in front of a gravestone that just simply reads, Ilya. His hand begins to glow with very vibrant, holy light. It's... the best way I can describe it is almost like that spotlight kind of a white, where it's technically artificial, but it's blinding. And the earth begins to move. The earth begins to split and crack, and almost be forced upwards as a hand begins to break through the surface of the dirt. The abbot reaches out with his other hand and grasps, wrenching forth from the dirt this young boy. Can't be any older than 10. At first, his eyes are shut, and his mouth is full of grave dirt. But with a little assistance from the abbot, literally placing his finger inside the boy's mouth and pulling away clods and suds and bits of grass, Ilya's eyes open. And he begins to cough and splutter. And he begins to cry openly. The cries, however, begin to morph, as originally it's the sadness of a child. But then his cries turn to outward screams as he begins to claw at his ears. The abbot steps in front to try and calm him, but it becomes very clear from the frantic screaming of this child that he can no longer hear himself. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, "Mama! Dada!" But you can tell that he can't hear himself. He's getting louder until he's essentially screaming at the top of his lungs with all of his energy, but he's still yelling, "I can't hear. Someone help me, I can't hear anything." His parents very quickly run over and swaddle the boy up in their arms. Anna begins to hum and places Ilya's head against her chest so we can at least feel the vibration of her chest as she hums. And she begins to play with his hair, partly to soothe but also to take out some of the clumps of dirt that have matted themselves into his brown hair. And although Ilya is still sobbing and yelling at the top of his lungs, he seems to be calming down slowly. His screams to return to cries and to sobs as a confused boy tries to wrestle with the fact that he died. And everyone around him knows that he died. Anna, bless her, begins to cry herself and looks over to the abbot. Praise you, sir, and praise Saint Markovia for your generous act. You did not need to do this, but you have brought back our boy.
Aurora wants to look at the abbot. Just, will his hearing return on its own, or will he forever be unable to hear?
Once he has calmed down, I would like to examine him. But until he settles, I won't actually know.
I have a question. How long has he been? She can't even finish the word.
If my sources of information are correct, obviously, Dimitri, Anna, you can correct me if I am wrong. But I believe he has been dead for some days now.
I don't want to be rude. Step out of line. Do you need a body to be able to do that?
I would need a body and a willing soul.
What about Say's not looking good. She's not dealing with this good right now. She's not dealing with this right at all. But she's thinking, and she asks, oh, what if they've been dead for some time?
As long as it has been less than 10 days, I have the ability to bring someone back, if their soul is willing.
Deep sigh just comes from Saya, because that's not the answer she thought she might get, but she nods.
Turning back to Dimitri and Anna, the abbot looks to them with a small smile. Your boy will be weak for some days. I would put him on bed rest until he is stronger. But for right now, I would find yourself a quill and some paper. If he truly cannot hear you, then he'll need a way to communicate with you. And immediately jumps up. She runs back to the kitchen. Dimitri, still holding his son, and he actually lifts him up to cradle him into his chest. Thanks the abbot again. And takes the son inside. So it's now just the abbot and those who wish to be there at the party outside.
I will say, as soon as, how do you pronounce his name? The son?
Ilya.
Ilya?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he started screaming, Sonder dipped. Thank you. And he went back to pet Jeremy, the cow. He kind of just has, like, his face buried in Jeremy's neck and is just petting him. But he left.
That's fair. In that case, then, Sonder, you would see Dimitri coming back in with Ilya. And he takes him into his old bedroom and places him down in a bed.
Amir is inside, right?
If you want it to be.
Yeah. Because she would stop Dimitri?
Mm-hmm.
Was the guy's name right?
Yeah, that's the Burgomaster.
Well, what's happening?
My son has been returned to us.
Okay. That's fantastic. You don't sound 100% happy.
I am ecstatic. I'm just simply processing.
Processing.
I'd mourned his loss, and now here he is. And he looks down lovingly and longingly at the boy in his arms, who has tied himself out now and is quite happily resting against his father's chest.
Is he okay?
I will say, Amira, you heard the screaming.
Okay. Like, he was screaming pretty bad. Is he okay?
Apparently one of the side effects of the spell is that he's lost his hearing. We don't know if it's temporary or a permanent thing. But even if it is permanent, we will learn.
I may have something that could help.
And if you do, then that will be very much appreciated. But,
if you wouldn't mind, I'd rather wait until the abbot leaves, and then I'll give it a try.
Well, for now, I would prefer it if he sleeps. Maybe sleeping will help him calm.
While I'm in here away from the abbot, do you want me to keep an eye on him?
If you wouldn't mind.
Yep, that's fine. I'll take him. And she holds her arms out to, like, take the boy.
And there's definitely a begrudging thing to it, but he does give him to you.
I promise. He'll be looked after.
But
Which one's his room?
it's the only other bedroom. And he gestures to the room that technically Aurora and Azazel have been using as their bedroom.
fucking rude, guys. But yeah, we'll go and put the boy into the bed, put the covers over him, and just sit like on the floor next to his bed.
Sure, I can make it better. It is going to make. I mean, maybe we have to rest, but I think we really. The only means by which we're going to get relics is by fighting elites because we have no money.
The abbot turns to the rest of you that's still out there, so that's Jack, Aurora, and Saya, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, you can just give me toy ornithopter. That would hit the spot too, man. Thank you. Hourglass. I have no choice. It has to be done.
I mean, no one's correcting me, so I'm assuming that's true. He turns to you, Jack, specifically. You said that you were planning on visiting?
That would be correct. There was a few things we wanted to talk to you about. Firstly, my companion Saya here was hoping to see you. She suggested to Saya to let her do her business first.
Hold on.
Great little shiv build. There's no doubt about that. Maybe if you would drop like a regen potion, then we could start to have a conversation about this. I think I'm crazy, man, but I'm not the only one. I'm not sold on. Oh, that was not necessary. I'm not sold on Malays here. Toy ornithopter, ceramic fish. After everything we've been through, ceramic fish. Ceramic fish. Okay, sure. I do play a lot of cards. You might be like an ideal elite for us to go up against.
Sorry about that. Parental was talking to me.
It's the very next card. Sadistic nature has to come out. I think we got extremely lucky that worked out as well as it did.
She's looking at him and going, I was told that maybe you could help me out. And I was hoping, am hoping you still can.
I can't pop an energy potion to block the damage. I wish we didn't have to take the damage, but we can find a better use for it. That's a mature decision, though. It pains me greatly. Better escape plan. I'm so sorry. Kunai is crazy. I am recognizing the curses that are coming here, but I'll lose 3 max HP.
I lost a friend. And he's kind of important to me. I don't remember how long it is he's passed. Probably, maybe just over 10 days, so. But I was wondering if you had a scroll or of sending, or can.
It does look a little rough. We really gotta kill.
I don't know if it's a spell that can be taught, but. I had met someone in. Was it Valaki? With like the bag of bones?
Yeah.
Okay. I had met someone in Valaki that mentioned you and said that you could possibly be able to help me, and I would be. I'd be eternally grateful if you could.
He gives you that same sad smile. He just looks to you and goes, I am sorry, my child, but that is not something that I have the power to do. The spell sending is not one that I know, and it's not one that I can bestow upon you even if I wished. As for your friend, there is the potential that I could bring him back, depending on how long he had been lost to us. But if you yourself do not know how long it has been, there is a potential it might not work.
been... It was a terrible sight when I found him. All his limbs were broken and turned, and it was a very violent sight. And we buried him somewhere. I think it's just been over 10 days.
It was like the, what, third day we were in Vallaki? Second day? Something like that? It was really early.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to go back and figure it out.
We've been here, like, what, a week? Less than a week? Because I don't think it's been 10 days since Caleb has died.
You do have access to a calendar.
I think we've been here less than a week. I keep forgetting about that. Hold on.
How do you get to it? That's my question.
Left-hand side, the one that looks like a banner that says Journal Notes, and then Simple Calendar.
Yeah, if Greengrass was the 5th, and that was the second day that we were there.
No. So Greengrass is its whole separate thing. If you go back to previous month, it shows you when Greengrass is.
Oh, it's the 1st. Okay. So it is almost been. So it's been 8 days. Ish. 9 days, maybe? We're like just about to hit 10, so technically Caleb is still on the table if we can find him.
Oh, this is really bad thinking of Saya. This is not good thinking at all. This is really bad. She's got... Saya's just gonna turn to look at Jack. As if to be like, we need to find him. I want to do this. She's just gonna look at him.
Do you remember where he was buried?
It's the thing, weren't they just, they were just walking. I'm pretty sure when they found him.
He was hanging from the gallows when we found him. It was in the fork in the road. We were leaving Barovia and going to Vallaki, if I recall correctly, when we found him.
Oh, that sounds more familiar. Because I pictured in my head he was just like hanging, like just off like the side of the road.
Oh, he was hanging from the gallows. We had to cut him down. They killed him because he had a soul, if I recall correctly.
That, and I think because he was an elf as well.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think we buried him too far away from the gallows. I think we just found a bit of a clearing.
Yeah.
And then we, like, rock piled over him.
It was a very simple grave with, like, a very simple, if not any, grave marker. And Ray is right, we did bury him very close to the gallows because we didn't have fucking time.
I also do want to remind you that because you were so worried about him turning into a vampire, you also did burn him.
Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the same issue we're having with Queenie.
Queenie, yeah.
And that realization that just hits Saya. She just... She just kind of says in a robotic tone, "Okay. Thank you." Walks away. Gets as far as she can go before she just drops to her knees in despair.
Are you
All hope
heading?
is gone now.
Are you heading to the front gate of Krezk, or are you heading into the village and into the little mini forest that they have?
Honestly, she doesn't even know. It's one of those, she's not paying attention. She's just walking in whatever direction.
Okay. Roll a d8 for me. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you walk out of the garden past everyone else, and you just begin heading southwest. Ooh, southwest.
No way! That's the lowest cost card in their hand? Oh my god. I mean, that's perhaps dangerous news.
Okay.
So you probably hit the boundary wall that goes around Krezk, and then stop for despair. Well, not literally, but in the sense of you get there and you realise you can't go any further, and that's when you collapse.
She's just gonna stare at the wall now. It's over. Saya's gone, guys. Okay. I'll do that.
The abbot watches Saya leave, and I'd say Jack and Aurora, you would notice that he doesn't necessarily have any kind of big emotions on his face as he just watches her leave. It's more of a matter of fact, okay, that's a thing that happened.
Right. Other things we want to talk to you about. There are a settlement of druids. They're working with Strahd, I would assume. Someone of your position is not aligned with someone like him. We were actively trying to protect some people from that big guy. And those druids are actively trying to take out the Monokov family as well as poison their wines. Possibly with the intent to distribute it. But, from what we were told, there's more of them than what we could handle by ourselves.
Well, okay.
For aid. If you have any that you can spare, if you know, I don't want to say small army, but just people willing to fight. Able people. Looking for allies.
I mean, I guess. This guy can do this thing. We're gonna get a lot of armor. That's gonna be a lot of armor.
You can see him mulling over what you've essentially asked of him. Yes. I am more than willing to help when it comes to matters within the walls of Krezk, but I have my own wards and my own dependents to look after. The Abbey is home to many a wayward soul that need guidance and my protection, but also my guardianship. I don't have anyone to give you. I don't have servants or soldiers. It is simply just me.
I understand. I will not ask you to leave what you're doing.
You are, however, more than welcome to come to the Abbey whenever you wish. The residents are disturbed, but they shouldn't cause you harm if you tell them that you're coming to visit me.
I appreciate it.
And if there is any healing that you need, or as you potentially were about to ask about a potential fallen ally, as I said, as long as you can bring them to me within a 10-day time limit, I'm willing to exchange.
I fully understand, but unfortunately, I no longer have a body to be able to present.
I understand. I'm sorry that I can't be of a greater assistance, but unfortunately even I am limited in what I can give you.
You're giving more than what I could have ever asked for. One thing I would like to know is, do you know anyone else who might also be against the big man upstairs? No gods or anything like that, but current ruler of the lands.
Jack and Aurora, can you please give me insight checks, please?
Oof.
Neat. Can I use this on myself? Give me 1 second. I can use this on myself. Neat.
Okay.
I'm gonna use a flash of genius on myself. I'm gonna add 4 to my roll for 15.
Okay. The abbot looks to you with his almost default expression seems to be this small smile that it does give off this this vibe is probably the only word I can think of to describe it. This vibe of he's just a caring priest. Like he's listening to your struggles almost like it's a confession, and he nods, he smiles. There's no judgment from him. But he looks to you all that are still outside. Unfortunately, if that is all, I must head back up to the Abbey. It's never a good idea to leave my charges for a long period of extended time.
Could I ask you one last question?
Of course.
Do you need any help? Do you need any assistance with anything? We have a growing checklist right now. Just make sure.
Well, if you would,
it's all right.
if you would care to assist the burgomaster in my request for a wedding dress, I'm sure that Dimitri would be grateful for any help on that regard. But other than that, no, I don't have any need. I do appreciate the offer, though.
Thank you.
And with that, he gives a... Let's say that he gives a... It's almost a half bow, half curtsy. Like, he does bob, but also bends at the waist. And with that, he straightens and begins to walk back up to the abbey. Doesn't cut through the house, he just walks around the side and begins to head up the winding mountain path.
Aurora, could you do me a favor?
Yeah. What is it?
He's gonna reach into his coin purse and hand Aurora 10 gold. Can you give this to the burgomaster? I'm gonna go try to find Saya.
Alright. Yeah, we shouldn't.
Just checking the layout of Krezk, and to be fair, Jack, because of where the burgomaster's house is... Actually, no. Yeah, you will need to go searching for Saya. So, carry on. Don't let me interrupt.
And we probably shouldn't leave her alone for too long. I'll get this inside, don't worry.
Thank you.
She'll head in to take the money to them and check on the kid and everything.
You walk in Aurora, and I would say that Amira and Sonder, you've kind of been witness to this. Dimitri and Anna have been this entire time having a conversation between themselves where it essentially boils down to Anna is planning on doing an excursion to Vallaki because no one in Krezk is going to have what the abbot wants. She knows that. She's spent enough time with these people to know that no one is going to have either the skills to make the dress or an already made dress to fit what the abbot wants. So she's going to Vallaki. Dimitri isn't happy about it, and he tries to argue against it. But Anna just simply says that she's going, whether he likes it or not, and if he's that worried about her safety, to not be, because she'll take some of the villagers with her. So it's not like she's going to be walking the paths on her own. You, Aurora, probably walk in to the back end of this argument with Anna saying, "There is nothing you can do to change my mind. I am leaving, and that is that." And she begins to turn and reach for like a really thick traveller's coat that looks very similar to like the Civil War jackets.
Mm-hmm.
But she sees you come in and gives you a smile and a nod, Aurora. She begins packing a bag with a couple of essentials, a couple of bits and pieces here and there, but she also picks up a large crossbow.
There. She'll hold out the coins to Anna. Oh, Jack wanted you to have this for the dress.
Oh, thank you. I very much appreciate that. And she tucks the gold into like a hidden little coin pocket in the inside of the coat.
Aurora will add 5 gold. We'll grab 5 gold of her own to add on to it. I'm not sure how much fabric or a dress would cost here, but I'm sure every little bit will help, especially for something like a wedding dress. Where are you going to go to get it?
Vallaki is probably our best bet. With it being the biggest town, it's more than likely going to have a seamstress.
What I've seen, I'd agree. Just take care. Are you going on your own?
At that point, Dimitri chimes in and goes, "You know for a fact that the villagers here are very little more than farmers. We have a house full of adventurers right now." And he kind of turns to address the room more than anything. He just goes, "Are you heading in that direction at all? Could you provide an escort for my wife?"
Sonder would pipe up a little bit and just be like, I don't know if Valaki's the best course of action. It's not exactly safe anymore.
He kind of gives you a deadpan look. It's like anywhere in Barovia is safe.
He'll kind of just give him a bit of a sad smile. I think I might be the only person that we can send off to. We're not exactly welcome in Vallaki anymore.
Well, even if you don't go into Vallaki, but if you could get my wife to the gate.
We were supposed to go back to the winery anyway. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to get her to the gate safely. Jack would be final call on it, but I personally wouldn't let you go alone if I have anything to say about it.
As long as we don't step inside, I think it'll be fine. But if we need to, I have a spell. They won't know it's me. He'll kind of get up off the floor and kind of dust the hay off of his pants and walk over. But I agree, it's not safe to go by yourself, and especially if what Dimitri says is true, that the villagers aren't much for combat, then I don't see why not. We can't just let you go by yourself.
A mirror at this point is cracked open the bedroom door to poke her head out. 2 questions.
What was this called? Oh, busy peon. My brain thought that said dusty peon.
2 answers?
1, is the abbot gone?
Yes.
Fantastic. Leaves the room and shuts the door behind her. He's still sleeping. She says that to Anna. Why are we not allowed in Vallaki?
Well, technically we aren't. But I think you'd be fine, actually.
Yeah, I haven't pissed anybody off there.
Unless the thing happened, in which case we technically might be allowed back in.
When we passed by there, the guards were different. The Crest of the Bear wasn't there anymore. He's gone. And I still don't think it's safe for us to go back there. Especially if we have our person following us. He kind of just gestures to Irina.
Can I make a roll to understand what they mean by the symbol of the bear isn't there anymore?
When we walked past the gates, Sonder kind of whispered to everybody that Vallaki wasn't safe because the guard was changed, so that means that the burgomaster got assassinated.
Well, if we do go, the only thing I would like is at least one night at the inn. Kind of holds up her hand with like whatever dirt and grime is like under her nails. Just, I really want a bath.
You can see how conflicted Sonder is. His eyebrows are kind of pulled together and his ears are down.
Okay, you can all discuss that. Anna, can I borrow you a second, please?
She just kind of
Can I
looks.
borrow both of you a second?
Yeah, kind of just looks around the room at the discussion happening between you all. And Dimitri and Anna head. I'm assuming you're just gesturing like into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they follow.
Would you like me to try now?
Anna looks to her husband a little bit confused because she wasn't there for that conversation. But Dimitri very quickly fills her in on what you were offered. And Anna just immediately goes wide-eyed, understands what you're offering. It's like, oh, yes, please, actually, if you could.
Okay. So, I'm not going to wake the boy up because I don't think he needs to be awake. But I am going to cast Lesser Restoration on him.
Mm-hmm.
And it should cure his deafenedness. And at which point I will cast the spell, and then I will just gesture to the boy and just be like, "Do you want to try waking him up and talking to him?"
Very tentatively, Anna shakes her head and goes, "You saw how exhausted he was? I would much rather allow him to sleep. Let him wake naturally. We can always talk to him later."
Okay. Just let me know if it does or doesn't work.
Dimitri nods to you, like that's a simple enough request.
There might be something more I could do. I'm not 100% certain, but we'll see if this works first.
With a smile, Dimitri takes a seat next to his son's bed and just kind of sets up a vigil. Anna leaves her husband with a kiss on the forehead, but a resolute smile, heads outside and begins preparing essentially a supply wagon and attaches it to a donkey.
If Aurora, it's gonna look at Saunders. If we're gonna go with, maybe we should go find Jack and Saya and let them know.
I feel like we should all move together as a pack. I don't think we should be separated for too long. If Jack can find Saya and bring her back here, or if we can go out and find both of them before Anna leaves, I think is probably the best course of action.
Yeah, I'd agree. Would you like to go look for them with me, or would you rather wait for them to get back?
I don't think we should crowd Saya right now. She's going through understanding, I guess, that she's... He just air quotes alone. She can't get her friend back, and that's hard for her. We should give her a little bit of space and let them come back to us. Because we don't know where they are, but they know where we are.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Well, do you want to come help me with Sundancer then?
That would be fantastic, actually. He gives her a very wobbly smile. And, like, gestures for her to lead on.
Yeah, she'd take him out to where Sundancer is and everything. Start getting the horse, like, ready to go, groomed, fed, watered, everything. Check her hooves.
Alright then, while that is happening, Jack, can you give me a survival check, please? Okay. Because Saya isn't necessarily trying to be stealthy right now, you walk through a small little... I wouldn't even call it a forest. It's just a small collection of trees that happen to have grown by the edge of the wall. And it's through here that you can see bits of trampled grass, you can see bushes that have been parted down the middle. Saya's not being subtle right now, and her tracks are pretty easy to follow. And it's there that you find her, leaning up against a tree, using it for almost like a version of back support.
Are you doing alright, Sarah?
Mm-mm.
Talk about it.
It was my last hope, Jack. Everything's gone. Everything is gone.
So for what?
My friend. I was told that maybe he could help me with the scroll or spell, and then I just I watched him bring back Ilya, and I thought maybe I thought maybe he could do the same, but I remembered we burned his body. I'll never see Caleb again. And I don't even know how to talk to the people. It sounds like she's, and she is. She'll turn to look at Jack, and there are tears streaming down her face.
Walk up. Can just put a hand on her shoulder. I understand it's rough. The same thing with Queenie. Hell, if I would have known I just needed to wait 3 days to be able to get her back, I would have waited. But made the best calls in the time we had. With the knowledge we had. It's not over. I can assure you that one. Breaths are still being taken. 90% certain your heart's beating still. The looks of it, you still feel them. So I know for a fact you ain't dead.
Just do me a favor, Jack. Just kill me. I don't want to do this anymore.
Fortunately, I'm not one to waste things that still have great value. You still have a lot of potential, say. Hope's not gone. You can still get you back to where you came from. If that's where you want to go. You still got friends. Grant, I know I might not know you as well as Caleb have. Saundra might not know.
It's not even about just that, though. I'm so screwed up. Everything about me is screwed up. I really thought that maybe...
What part are you screwed up? See, 2 fully functioning hands, 2 fully functioning feet?
I don't know, Jack. Can you walk through walls?
No, but I think that's a pretty neat trick. That doesn't mean you're messed up. You know, some of the best inventions that people have made, complete accidents. People trying to do one thing, hoping to get something done. Fluke happens, mistake happens. Someone throws a bit too much tin in with a copper, trying to make a nice copper bar, but turns out they made bronze. New metal, new alloy. Whole world changes. Just because you're different doesn't mean you're bad. Doesn't mean you're a mistake. Sure, it takes time to get used to it. But you got potential. You can do many good things. I know you can.
I don't know, there's one person in the party that seems differently. He can't wait to turn us over to Strahd.
Hazel has one That'll be a weird point of view. But I wouldn't take what he says to heart. It's only one thing he's out here for, and it's to make sure he survives, and hopefully that he's comfortable doing it. Honestly, I'm quite surprised he's stuck with us for so long.
I was so hopeful. I didn't think I'd be able to bring Caleb back, but after seeing what happened today, I just thought maybe I had a chance, and then I remembered. And now I just truly just I'm alone in the world.
You're not alone. Back in that house, you have a group of at least, what, 5, 6 people? Risk their entire lives. Make sure you were okay. People care for you, Sam.
I don't think you guys really need me. I'd be one less burden off of all you. You know I'm right.
Oh, you're wrong. Flare his jacket out a little bit. All the different small tools and things on it. I haven't needed any one of these things since I've gotten here. To carry them.
Why?
They're useful. There are times where I do need them. I'm not saying you're a tool. You're far from it. But each one has their own situation where they're useful. You don't want to be using a hammer whenever you need a screwdriver. Granted, you can still get things done, but it's a mess afterwards.
Have you ever wondered if King ever wondered why you built him the way you did?
Can't say I have. No. What do you ask?
No. I don't know. I just can't help but wonder. I don't know. I'm telling you, Jack, everything's gone. We're never gonna get out of here. This land's gonna kill us, every last one of us. I'm already halfway there, so.
So that's it. Believe this land's gonna kill us. And so you're just gonna give up.
Wouldn't you?
Hell no.
To think that the one thing that you thought could help you out, and this cruel reality sweeps in, and you just know that it'll never happen?
Even if I was 100% certain what we were doing here is pointless, you could prove it to me 100% that no matter what we did, we were going to fail. I'd still do it. He's at least doing it. Who knows? There might be a chance. Strahd might make a mistake. Might fuck up. Gods know we will. At least if we're trying, if we do it. We might succeed. We might make it to the end. We might go home. If we just sit down and wait to die, I can guarantee it, we're not going to make it home. We're not going to move anywhere from that spot. Is it gonna hurt? Yeah. Trust me, it fucking hurts. There's nothing more I'd want to do right now than go home. Hold a memorial for Queenie. Probably drown in a bottle or two. So nothing gets done. There's people's lives that can still be saved. People who still want to make it home. Quite like yourself. If I just stick my feet in the dirt, don't do anything, then I'm just failing everyone else.
She's gonna turn and... Is Jack standing or sitting down?
He's standing.
She's gonna get up and just hug him and just into his shoulder. She's just gonna cry, I want to go home. Like just sobbing into his shoulder. I want to go home.
We're gonna get you home, Sam. I'm gonna do my best to get you home.
Everything's so hard. I don't like this place anymore. I don't know why I'm here. I lost everyone and everything, and even when I try to make amends with someone, they're taken from me anyway. I didn't mean to say mean things to Queenie, and now I lost Caleb, and Caleb's never coming back either. And I don't want to watch over Aurora anymore, especially if she knows what she's doing, and I don't want to fight with Azazel anymore. I'm just tired of it all. Just tired of it all.
I understand.
And I hate knowing that I can walk through walls, and I don't care if it's a cool thing at all. It's not normal. And I keep thinking about the day that I woke up and everyone else died, and it won't let me leave me alone. That's all I think about. And nobody understands because nobody was there. I want to go back to normal.
We'll get out of here.
I also have to be really careful about my timing. Again, I can't remember the name.
If you don't mind making a quick pit stop before we get you back home. We'll stop over at the Full House. Grant, we're a craftsman's guild.
It's so funny when you just start like thinking about how many names immediately just sound the same.
Try to find some people. Heck, there's a mage in this town. Somewhere in the woods, somewhere. They might have seen this before. At least might be able to take a look into it. I'm trying to get your back right.
She's like shaking,
That's the best part.
but she nods to him.
Like types I'm whacking, I just let it scroll on past. Your words are like terrific with the sea of my broadcast, okay?
I'll be honest with you. This isn't going to be easy. You're going to get hurt more. But I need you to promise me something. You're not going to give up on me.
But it's so easy to. I wouldn't care if I just sat here and be torn apart by vampires or even ripped to shreds by werewolves. I don't even care if I'm stuffed into a scarecrow. Because any of that is easier than going through what we're doing now.
And mentor was said, well, there's two things. One, things worth doing aren't always going to be the easiest things doing. True. I couldn't imagine having a kid. Being responsible for raising the little one. Terrifies me. Especially whenever they're very young and can't hold themselves up. Can't feed themselves. It's hard. It's worth doing. Your life's precious. Everyone is.
Alright, let's draw some shit. That's fine. I mean, honestly, things are fine. Okay, as long as it feels the same size. Alright, we lost the two. It's fine.
Even if
Holy fuck, man, this has been a difficult day for me.
half of it's already gone.
Even if 90% of it was gone. 99% of it's gone. If you're still alive, you're worth fighting for.
She just kind of like wipes at her eyes. And kind of looks back and then looks at Jack and goes, I really just don't have it in me. Can you just carry me back?
I can certainly try, but I make no guarantees.
She's like, I don't want to go. And she's gonna attempt to, like, get on his back for a piggyback.
Two people with
Vicarious,
absolutely no fucking strength whatsoever.
Looking at my -1 modifier, it's like I can certainly try.
Yeah.
Two, -1.
It's gonna be a
Yeah.
knee in
Should have
somebody's
brought the
face.
paladin or the cleric with you.
Yeah, Jack, just roll me a general athletics check for me, please.
This is not gonna end well.
Oh!
Oh,
You did okay!
We'll take a 16.
Holy
Okay.
shit! The power of Dad swoops in to save the day.
There's definitely a struggle. You're not used to piggybacking a grown woman. But she's light. There's not a lot on or to Saya. She doesn't have a lot of equipment on her either. So you pretty much scoop her up onto your back, and it is a little bit of a trudge by the time that you get back to the Burgomaster's cottage. But you manage to do it without making an ass out of yourself. And isn't that what we really care about?
I don't know. Sometimes making an ass out of yourself is pretty funny.
Also true. I will say though that you pretty much get to the back door of the cottage and you're like, right, Saya needs to go down now. Because you carried her for basically like 400 feet.
She goes down, and just her hood is over, and her head is down, and she's just clinging to Jack right now because why not? He's there. He talked to her, and she's just like she's gonna like whisper to Jack and go, "They're gonna hate me for running off again."
I'm not gonna hate you. Surprisingly enough, except for Azazel, pretty understanding people.
You already know what I'm thinking. Stop making it easier!
Gonna walk on in with everyone.
I will say that Saya just feels small. She just feels so small at the moment. So that's why she's just kind of sticking to Jack. Like, Jack was there. Jack kind of heard her little breakdown, and she's still breaking down. She very much is. But to the point, it's just like she's very sensitive right now.
I'd say you... Do you walk through the cottage or do you walk around the front, Jack?
I'd be walking through the cottage.
Fair enough. So you would notice that everyone else is gone other than Dimitri. And in fairness, Dimitri sees you come in and just kind of points to the front door. He's like, they're all waiting out the front for you.
Fair enough, thank you very much. Goes through to the front door.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so awesome. Yeah, get the puppet theater out of there. What's your last card, the man? God, I hope
But the Burgomaster's wife, Anna, is sat in the driver's seat with a mule, wagon, provisions. There's space in the back for people to sit if they really want to, but you also don't have to. And she just looks down at you, Jack, and Saya, to be fair. She says, right, we ready to leave?
Saya just stays clinging to Jack. Like, I
Jack
want to
just
be.
looked at everyone else.
She's just like, I don't want to be separated right now.
Sonder will kind of speak up and just be like, Anna needs to go to Vallaki to look for either supplies or if somebody has a dress for sale. And we're already going past there anyways. We offered to be an escort, if that's alright with you.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We'll probably be able to go back into Vallaki as well.
Sandra kind of
What
winces
happened in
a little
Valaki?
bit at that.
Saya's just gonna go, mm-mm. We shouldn't. It's a bad idea. We really shouldn't.
We'll ask the
Especially-
people at the gate. We're not enter. We'll ask first.
Especially if Irina's here with us, that is not a call that I'm willing to take.
And if you would want me to, and it's at that point that Irina like kind of speaks up for the first time today, I can also stay here if you think it would be too much of a risk. I don't have to go with you if you think it'd be better for me to stay.
Sandra's ears kind of drop a little bit. And she's just like, I can stay back. And he's just like, oh, okay. But he doesn't say anything. He kind of just looks to Jack like, this is your call.
I know it would be safer for you to stay, in the sense of getting caught in Valaki, but I would also find it to be much safer for you to stay with us. At least at that point in time, if a problem arises, we can all work together versus trying to go halfway across who knows how much distance.
Well,
For fear of sounding like a broken record, what happened in Valaki?
A long story we'll tell you on the road.
Okay.
Do you still have your helmet?
she's got it tucked under her arm. She just gives it a bit of a tap with her knuckles.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Let's go to the winery first. Take care of what we need to there. Continue our trip down to Valaki. Anyone good with makeup? Anyone has makeup?
Aurora, I have a makeup kit. I was decent at it. I can help.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Whenever we get to the winery, if you don't mind getting or helping Irina out, we might just be able to change some facial features. Not insane. Just make it a bit harder to recognize.
Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised what can be done with makeup. Even just following the lines of her face closely enough can make her look completely different.
Before we head out, has anyone seen Azazel?
I was actually
She's
gonna
just
ask
had
that.
to look around.
I was actually gonna ask that as well. Is he sick?
Hopefully far, far away.
No, I don't know where he is, just that he's going to be away for a little while.
Any specific times for a little while, like a day, a week, an hour?
Forever?
I hope not. But I don't know. He just said that he was going to be going. But there was the implication that he will be back. I just don't know when.
Fair enough.
Which reminds me, she'll go back in and basically just really quickly wants to let Dimitri know, like, hey, if he comes back, like, looking for us, can you let him know where we are?
Yeah, and Dimitri gives a thumbs up to be like, don't worry, I got you.
Just smile, thumbs up back, heads back out.
We're all set. Got a slight plan in play. Get this day started.
The wife Anna looks to you and goes, "So I heard winery first?
You don't mind a small detour?
Not at all. If there's an obligation you already had there, it's just a small detour and then we can get back on the road to Vallaki."
I appreciate your patience.
Who knows? Might be able to sell some supplies to get a little bit extra money.
If we're really lucky, they might have a wedding dress.
True, very true.
And if Vallaki doesn't have any, we can always try the Vistanis.
They're not cheap, though.
No, but the quality's decent.
It's fair.
And I can tell you which ones to avoid.
Alright then. I will quite happily time skip to the winery, as nothing interrupts you or joins you along the way. And if people want to take the time to fill a mirror in on what happened in Vallaki, feel free to now.
100%. While they're walking, just going over everything that has happened in Vallaki and why we cannot go back.
Oh fuck! Oh shit! Oh fuck!
Yeah, so, a guy died. It wasn't fun.
So this guy, the Burgermaster,
Okay,
really likes
sure.
parties and does not like being told he's wrong.
Oh, I
Well,
find
what
that
we
with
did
most
was
men, but
interrupt
okay.
his party and told him he was wrong.
Wait, who did that?
Me and a friend.
Wow, okay.
It didn't end well.
Did nobody
Obviously.
ever tell you to not upset the gentler ego?
I was trying not to. There for a minute, I thought I actually had his attention and thought I could make a difference, and it kinda.
You and your friend literally stopped somebody being made an example of.
Yes. But I could do it
Okay.
there for a second. I really thought he was going to listen to me and that I could change his mind.
Wow. Okay. I forget you that are not from here. Okay, wow. Yeah, so you guys are not allowed back in Vallaki.
Oh, we might be able to.
And if we are, I'd love to stay at least one night. I really, really want a bath.
You know, you can just boil water and just put it in a tub, right?
Chance to even ask anybody since we left.
Alright then. You make your way to the winery. It doesn't look necessarily any different from the last time that you were there. Although, I would say that just with passive perceptions... Yeah, it's always going to be, in fairness, it's always going to be Sonda and Ibera. You can see that one patch of a field looks healthier. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not up to full strength and full life yet. but at least it's not as wilted, brown, dead, dried as the rest of the field.
Oh, that's promising.
Sonder will kind of just nod. With a bit of a forced smile. I'm glad that they at least have one gem left.
Hit the guy in the face? How's that possible? Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Yeah, take that, Sneeze. Alright, we're just, it's Jimmy. Old Jimbo. And I think we're actually gonna be okay, because I mean, I've played these, discovered this before. They can do some scary stuff that might have the burst potential of a tree stalker.
The carriage pulls up outside, and Anna looks down to you all and goes, if it's all the same to you, I'm going to just wait out here, and there's no need for me to come inside as well. At least not for now.
So, you're playing Old Jimbo. Hopefully it goes in the good order. I can't believe it's done this.
Jack? Question mark? You're muted.
Oh my god, I'm so glad. I just explained to my chat that this doesn't normally happen. Oh no, it's coming right to my face. I just explained it. Fuck, wait, what are these cards? Hold on. I need to look some stuff up. I have a bug report. Hold on.
Sandra will just give her a bit of a thumbs up and a nod. Like, you can stay out here if you want to, but I'm sure the Mardikovs wouldn't mind.
We shouldn't take long anyway, it's just a little bit of magic.
Every hour, I feel more information is coming out, and it is looking bad for everybody.
And
If you'll remember, we talked
Aurora will leave her horse with Anna and head up.
and their promotion of the film, the way they went about promoting it, because they're
Help if I wasn't muted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well,
some very serious topics. But in press tour for this and all the promotional materials, Colleen, Blake, and other people involved weren't actually talking about these serious
Yeah, wherever the herd goes, Sonder follows.
on the fun, the costumes, the outfits, saying
I'm gonna leave King back with Anna,
which led to people going
Fair enough.
not actually knowing what it contained.
just in case.
Scenes
You never know.
between Blake Lively's character and Justin Baldoni's character. Now, Justin Baldoni, if you'll remember, is also the director of the Angelos movie, and there was quite a bit of fallout between Blake and Justin because
That's easy enough done. The door in the loading bay is open, and the door leading to the fermentation vats is closed but unlocked.
Aurora's gonna do like a basic call out of like hello when she heads on in.
now at this time as well, more information started
You hear an unclear call out. Like, it's far enough away and through too much of a wall and a door where you can't make out what the words are, but at the very least someone responded to you.
about Blake Lively.
And they'll look at Jack like, that mean think we should go in further?
I'd say so. It wasn't stay out as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. She'll head into the fermentation room then.
I will, but this is not about her. This is about Blake and Justin. Because everybody.
Is anyone in here too?
Mm-hmm. So, moving into the fermentation room, the two Martikov brothers, the sons of Davian, are there up on the balcony, stirring away at the what you know now to be the corrupted wine, trying to see if they can stir through like any impurities, like help it out. Maybe it's just a case of it was sat for too long and they can maybe save it. But when as soon as they see you come in, they just stop stirring and they call out to you. It's like, oh, hello!
Hi.
Kind of mean, to be honest,
I did promise to come back and help with those, so
not a great person.
here we are.
She should have been in the film for what it was, the way that Justin was, and accepting the idea that she had pushed Justin Baldoni out. Although sure, thinking of that,
She'll
saying that
head towards like the one of the vats that they're working on,
Mm-hmm.
and see if she can cast Purify Food and Drink on it.
Of course, if you pop the spell into the chat.
There we go.
Within a 5-foot radius sphere. Okay, yeah. So you have to center it on the middle of the vat, just of how big the barrels are. But one spell essentially does the entirety of a barrel.
Okay.
How many barrels are there?
2 more.
I will go and do another one.
I can go and do the last one then.
Aurora like mouths thank you to both of you as you go to do the others.
Yeah, don't need you to place a template, but at the very least, as long as it registers that you've used the spell slot.
And this might be a mighty weird ask, but by any chance, do you guys have a wedding dress that you guys are not using?
There's a little bit of a pause as the two brothers look down at you, Jack. No.
Figured I'd ask.
But the younger brother, Ivor, looks down to you and goes, but if you were to buy the materials, then I'm pretty sure our sister could make a pretty simple dress, and she makes our clothing. And looking at the clothing that they are both wearing, it's very common work clothing that would come under the thing of like commoners' clothing. There's nothing there that's any fine detail that would potentially be needed for a wedding dress.
I do appreciate that, and I'll keep that in mind.
The elder brother kind of looks at the younger and gives him a look of like, why'd you say that? And he goes, it would obviously depend on if our sister was comfortable with that, of course.
I fully understand. I wouldn't want to be overstepping.
But we can keep an eye.
I appreciate it. We'll keep an eye out for potential materials as well. First goal is ideally the dress itself, but if we can only get materials, plan B is always good.
But thank you for this. You can already tell the difference. And Adrian, yes, it's Adrian. He takes a massive ladle, scoops out the top of one of the barrels, and you can see just from the surface tension, like the liquid at the top, it's a completely different color now. He goes, now that looks like wine.
Very happy to be of assistance.
But is there anything else?
I don't think so. I wanted to make sure I kept my word and
I'm sure our father will be appreciative of it. Thank you, all of you.
Do us a favor, try to stay safe. We'll try to get some of those stones back. It's on our radar, but don't have a time schedule on that one yet.
In all honesty, take your time. It's one of those things that you get to when you can. Don't get me wrong, we are eventually going to run out of wine, but these vats will at least see us for a good while.
Oh, dang, I can't ask that because I don't know that.
Don't you
Never
hate
mind.
when that happens?
Yeah, because I was about to ask a question of that. No, wait. Amira doesn't know that. And nobody else has thunk it, so is what it is, I guess.
Brian Friedman, who is representing Baldoni, Wayfair Studios and representatives, holds the allegations categorically false. Friedman said Liza's papers would have attempt to fix her negative reputation, which was garnered from her own remarks.
I'm waiting for Sonder, Aurora, and Amira to finish up. And
which allows the internet to generate their own views and opinions. Liza's claimed that Hugh Baldoni, who is
let's turn our track back to Valaki.
I would say when we are going back, Sonder is sticking close to Irina. He's kind of just like staying a little bit like in front of her, but making sure that like they're in reaching distance of each other, just in case.
Okay. You continue traveling down the road, and it's incredibly clear today, both in terms of the sky, but also you don't meet anyone along the way. You don't bump into anyone. It's just a straight journey and a straight travel. It takes you a good couple of hours. It isn't until the mid-afternoon that you make it to Valaki, but you make it there with no complaints.
Is anyone else more unsettled than the fact we didn't run into anything?
A tiny bit, but I heard all of those dice rolls, so...
Saya is very much a bundle of nerves. Like, she is very anxious. She doesn't want to be there.
As the person from Barovia, is this normal?
You can have days where you wouldn't see another soul, and then you can have days where you meet 10, 20 people on the road. It fully depends on the day.
Okay. Why are y'all stressing? We're fine.
We've been put through hell the last who knows how many days.
Oh, that's true. You've been through hell for days. Try being through hell for your life.
Sorry, this is a new place. We're used to it just being like hell, and now we're having a good day. This is weird.
Yeah, sometimes hell simmers down a bit, but you're still in hell. You take the good when you can. Stop looking a gift horse in the mouth. Shut up and move.
The complaint describes several other incidents, including Baldoni allegedly telling Livy he could speak to her dead father, trying to enter her trailer while she was nude, and implying to Livy's fitness trainer that he wanted her to lose weight. So quite a lot of really, really big accusations. I'm going to be really
I'd say that now is the time. If anyone is wanting to do anything to Irina's appearance, now is the time before you go up to the city gates.
Oh, yeah, Aurora would call her over to do her makeup.
Jack would help, trying to get her hair all tucked up, put it underneath the helmet so that can't be seen.
You know, next time we go to the Vistanis, we should probably get you some hemp. And you can
That's
dye your
actually-
hair.
That's actually a very good idea.
I know. That's why I suggested it.
In her favor that she was telling the truth, not in her favor that this is good, but things like making her be used during Krezk, being really inappropriate, the things he says to her, and about
Be a shame though, I like this color.
a lot of
It is a very pretty
Irina.
color.
And at that point, she kind of like grabs one of the loose curls that's like essentially under her ear and just holds it up for her to see. Oh, if you think it will cover nicely.
Yeah. Should do. It's pretty strong.
I will need to click on the thing. Where is the thing? Okay. Sonda, Amira, and Saya.
Oh no.
You would notice that as Irina is pulling like her hair away, she's also kind of using it as an excuse to cover her face slightly with her hand, as her cheeks are now like darkening into like a bit of a blush.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
So it's the
I
thing
was
of
worried
like,
for a second.
so it's the thing of like, oh yeah, like I'm totally just looking at my curls when actually I'm using it as an excuse to hide like half of my face with the palm of my hand.
Okay, we'll leave you be now.
Yeah, Sonder is kind of just like, I think I actually wanted to give something to Saya. You guys can talk for a bit, yeah?
Irina just kind of turns to Aurora and like, well, do your worst. Or your best. I'm not sure which is better.
The best.
In this case, it would be my best. It can make you almost unrecognizable.
All right then. So this is going to be a check using the disguise kit that we gave you.
Yeah.
So I think you can just click on the tool proficiencies in your character sheet. And I'll let you roll with advantage because Jack did say he was helping.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Okay. So I'm going to make a note of that 18. Because that's now going to be the DC that someone has to beat to see that she's wearing a disguise.
My idea for Aurora doing that is like that point where was it like when you see some of the before and afters online of like this girl with makeup versus like how differently she looks without it, and just like with the makeup she's like absolutely stunning or looks completely like different.
Mm-hmm.
I may make a bigger video on her one day because there's so much about her I disagree with. However, she's standing up for Blake in this case.
All right then. And then, Jack, I'd say that the thing that you're helping with, because you wouldn't necessarily be good at the makeup side of it, but it's the taking Irina's hair and making sure that it all naturally sits under the helmet. So all of her hair is hidden, and it's tucked away, and none of it is falling out. There's no, like, stray strands coming out from the bottom of the helmet. And so she is this very beautiful woman with most of her head covered.
Aurora would do, like, a small flourish and, like, show her, like, bring up the little mirror from her kit. I hope you like it. I learned because of my sister. She liked makeup more than I did. But never learned how to do it on herself.
Justin, according to this point,
No, she painted herself. That's what she did.
Holly Hoover writes these love interests like this freaking hard woman, she's not going to see the problem in what Baldoni allegedly did.
Make a fun of us, face paint on herself. That's it.
She's from Texas, which somehow I didn't notice. But I don't know if you guys know, I think
Alright then.
To make a comment, but I realized that not everybody would know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, she, like, holds up the little mirror so that Irina can look at the at how she looks now and everything.
There's definitely a moment of a double take where she was not expecting what is then presented in the mirror. She goes, well, with my hair covered and me looking like this, it's going to definitely take a moment for someone to realize it's me. Thank you.
Pleasure. Sometimes the best can be better than the worst.
I'm so excited. And I'm just wondering, like, am I just going to
She's gonna, like, tuck everything away again, get ready to go.
lives in, but if I did happen across her on the street, what do I say to her? What do I say to Lee Hoover? Like, hi, I hate your book. Or do I just leave it? Do I just not speak to her?
Alright, enough about me. Sooner we get inside, the sooner we can look for things.
I probably wouldn't speak to her. I would just, like, put it between.
And I'm assuming the people are heading towards the gate?
Yep.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly. The guards at the front gate see you coming with, in fairness, a large entourage with this entire wagon full of supplies. And they end up stopping you. And you can definitely feel it in the air. It's like this thickness of tension, and they don't really want you there. The gate is shut and locked, and they have spears ready to almost like poke through the bars of the gate. As one of them looks at you and goes, "What do you want?"
Hi, I just saw Queen Hoover. But I'm
Two things primarily.
I have never been to America before, so.
One of which is I know we were banished, or at least most of us were. This one's not.
Hi.
These two are not. From entering from the old Burgermaster. It appears they are no longer in power, so I was still wanting to understand if that was still standing, or if we're now allowed to enter, because we were only banished because we were interrupted one of the old parties that was going on.
The guard looks at you and goes, "Oh yes, I remember you. I remember the fuss that your friend made. Entertaining, at the very least, entertaining."
Second thing is primarily just entrance for this one right here. She's looking for a wedding dress. Or at least materials to get a wedding dress. Maybe to sell some of her goods.
Jack, because you've done all the talking, I need you to make me a persuasion check, please.
Shit!
You should have let Anna do it.
Quite honestly. We're rolling with it.
You're doing really good on rolls today. It's very
Don't fucking
impressive,
jinx it,
Jack.
don't fucking jinx it, knock on wood, oh my god.
So
You need to stop talking.
we have an 18.
But you are the captain. You need to talk.
I don't want to.
You did this to yourself, buddy.
I did. It's that meme of that person riding on a bicycle going down the road, sticks a stick into the spokes.
Okay. So, you watch them. They do begin to slowly open the gate, but you can see in their eyes that it is incredibly begrudgingly. They don't want to open this gate. But they've done it, and they've opened it wide enough for the wagon to come through. And even afterwards, after Anna has head on through with the wagon, they leave the gate open. And they're looking at you.
So much stuff that goes into
Jack will enter then. Yeah.
I've never done it
They leave the door open for us.
I know her handle stuff. I know how it works. Like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Aurora will follow. After all, we should make sure she gets home safely, right?
Phone is there. So when I'm going over there, there's a lot to like and stuff. But thankfully,
Very much so.
I do not have to worry about, which is getting my phone to work, which is extremely important because everything that I need to do is
My
on my phone. So I need data and I need network. So I can
may I ask something?
figuring out how.
Of course.
If you don't know what music is, it's
Not for you, Aurora, but more for the gods here.
their service. So my timeandmarriage.com link is also in the description. Down the QR code on screen.
They don't say anything, but they do look to you like they've heard you.
Now Blake's allegations against
Has something been happening around here?
treatment of her. She also alleged
Why security's been increased, or just more as a precaution? If you don't want to answer, you don't need to answer either. I don't want to be prying into things I'm not supposed to be knowing.
The guards kind of look between each other, and they almost... It's that kind of psychic conversation where they're trying to figure out who's going to talk and how much they're going to say. One of them, though, eventually does speak up and says, "All you need to know is that the town is now under new management."
just that he used your team to run a smear campaign against her. According to a legal complaint that Blake filed on Friday, it claims that their PR effort had
Can I ask one more question?
Her filings include excerpts from thousands of pages of text messages and emails that she had
There's a very heavy sigh,
wants to feel like she can
but no one says no.
Is there anything we should know so we know how to not piss off the new management?
If I were you, I would stay away from the Burgomaster's mansion.
Thank you very much. We'll stay clear from that area.
in August sent a message to the crisis management expert, Melissa Nathan. And here's some message including Melissa. Jennifer asks, are we in the clear now? Did we survive? Melissa says, we survived. All Krezk is so overwhelming, we've confused people so much in its messaging. It's actually really funny if you think about it. The narrative
Jack
on it is
just
still
head right on in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna push that any farther.
But I see this as a total success, as does Justin. You did such amazing work. Narrative is crazy good, so did you.
But once everyone is through, they shut the gate behind you. Immediately lock it back up. And you can feel that burning pressure of like on the back of your neck where you know someone's watching you. But you make it into the town, and you do notice immediately a couple of differences. The main one being that any old decorations from any past celebrations are now gone. There's no more bunting hanging limply from houses. The window boxes have been cleared of any dead flowers. The leftover bits of flyers that have been pasted to walls, they've all been torn down. Vallaki, it seems, has been given a clear out. Another thing you notice as you walk past is that the church's doors are closed. Whereas the last time you were here, they were open to anyone and open to the outside world.
Saya just is there, just going, I don't like this. Can we leave? Can we just leave, please? We don't have to be here anymore. Can we just go?
Sandra would kind of put like a gentle, comforting hand on her back. Kind of like when you try to calm like a frightened horse. And just like very gently rubbing like circles into her back. Like, I know, I don't like this any more than you do, but we need to make sure that Anna gets here safe and leaves here safe. And then we'll leave.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Saya is very much, because a lot of shit went down in Vallaki, and she is very much on edge, anxious, not about it, and just looking around and how eerie everything is, and no, just no.
Sandra will kind of like pull her a little bit more towards himself, not like full on hugging her, but more of like just pulling her closer so that their shoulders brush, in a little bit of like protectiveness. He'll kind of like bend down and quote unquote whisper conspiratorially, not really, but he's trying to make her smile. He'll like bend down and just be like, once we get to the inn and we make sure that everyone's safe, I have a secret to show you, but you can't tell anyone else, okay?
Kind of looks up at Sander and nods to him.
Hey, Saya, how you're feeling right now? So I feeling crushed.
Crushed?
In crushed.
What do you mean?
How you're feeling right now is how I felt in crushed.
Oh. Well, see? This is new. I don't like this. I don't want to have these.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we all heading first?
I would say the inn. So, Anya knows where, pretty much the general hub of where we will be at the end of the day. in case we all get separated or anything like that happens. We have
Plus, wouldn't she need
a
a
rally
place to
point.
stay too? Like,
Yeah, I would
if we're
assume
staying
so.
here like longer than a day.
All right then.
Probably has a thing to set up first.
So, easy enough done. Heading towards the inn. Anna sees that there is a stable and begins to essentially take her wagon there so that her horse can be kept somewhere, but also the wagon can be looked after. There is someone propped up against the wall and propped up against the swinging open door of the place, and he looks to Anna and says something that you don't all necessarily hear, but you do see her reaching into her money pouch and handing over something. Well, she returns to you all as a group and just gestures forward in like a lead the way.
Be in this situation, son. And she was a pain, and he was a harasser. He was still a harasser, regardless
Yeah.
of what she did. And that,
Take him to the inn, to the tavern.
now, does that mean that he was guilty?
The vibe in the Blue Water Inn is definitely more subdued than the last time that you were there. You notice that there's a lot less people for the time of day that there normally would be by this time. Another thing that you would notice is that Rictavio, the jester that was always in the corner, is no longer there either. But as soon as you come in, Danica comes round the corner of the bar, sees you, immediately just like goes for like a clutching the pearls kind of motion of like putting a hand to her chest, and rushes forward and immediately just pulls each one of you into a hug.
Oh, I love her so much.
Admittedly, Amira, she has no idea who you are. So she stops before she gives you a hug and just like gives your shoulder a squeeze.
Hi. I'm new.
It kind of looks over the group, and this moment of sadness goes over her face as she realizes that Queenie's gone. But stiff upper lip, gets on with it. Whatever brimming tears she had, she blinks away, just goes, "It is good to see your faces. Please, come in."
Will do. A lot's changed since last time, huh?
Oh, you have no idea. Please, I'll get some wine.
Oh, we should have asked for a few bottles.
Make mine a double. Saya just calls.
It's a bit of
We
a
should have asked for a few bottles
Mm.
at the winery. Oh, that was a missed opportunity.
You tried.
With a chuckle, she comes back with 2 bottles of wine. And goes, "So you did eventually make it out to the winery then?"
No, because we still have to find that out. But it's worth
That we did.
everybody's telling the truth.
Helped them out a little bit. They're not fully back up in operation, but
Vehemently denies that Baldoni, Wayfarer CEO, can
better off than what they were.
I mean, we had a feeling that something was wrong when we didn't receive our delivery, but if something's put them out of operation, that's a little bit more serious.
Druids.
Druids. And she just kind of nods her head like, of course it's the druids. But please, come sit. A lot has happened, and you need to know what's going on. And she kind of places a cup in front of everyone and just begins to pour a small portion, just the whole point of is like something to sip while you listen, other than Saya, who she just fills a cup for.
Amira will kind of push her cup away a little.
She is grateful.
Where's Ritavia?
Ah.
She'll, ask that softly as her cup's being filled.
Part of the story. So, after you had to leave, the festival continued. Drinking happened well into the night, and the Watcher boys decided to go poking around Rictavio's caravan that he had parked in the in our storage area to the east of the city. They got attacked by what they called a murderous beastie. Apparently this cat, 10 feet tall with teeth this size of short swords, came at them in the night.
Saundra will kind of perk up a little bit at that and be like, just look at her like, are you kidding me? Like, he has an eyebrow raised like, this is such bullshit.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware. But, because of that, to save his own skin, Rictavio had to leave. He was essentially also exiled out of the city for causing public unrest and harboring dangerous creatures.
Oh, would have been fine if they didn't put their nose where it wasn't wanted.
Hmm.
Sounds like they got what they deserved.
But that apparently was the catalyst for Lady Watcher to decide that...
Sorry, pun intended.
Pun was not intended, but fair enough. But that was what Lady Watcher needed as her excuse. She rallied the townspeople, claiming that the burgomaster did not care for their welfare and did not care for their wants and their needs, and that it was time for someone else to take charge who would actually listen to the people.
Has she listened to the people?
Well, it's only been a couple of days, so give her time. But the burgomaster has been outed. There was a coup. And at the moment, while there is a little bit of a power vacuum, no one has actually stepped up yet to claim the power. Everyone is looking at Lady Watcher. With her being the motivational speaker behind the change, I think the peasantry expect her to step up. Fill in the shoes. At the moment, the burgomaster and his family are under house arrest. Nothing has happened to them, as far as we know. But no one is allowed to see them, unless they have written permission from the Lady Watcher.
Fair enough.
As I said, it's only been a couple of days of the new regime, nothing necessarily bad has happened. But I also cannot tell you that it's anything better either.
harassment, or any other inappropriate behavior towards the library team. Instead, it alleges that Lively Reynolds led the string of extortionate threats to tarnish Baldoni's image, so they're flipping the script. Instead of him being the one that's trying to
I
tarnish
guess
her
we're just
image,
playing a waiting game right now.
this lawsuit is a legal action based on an overwhelming amount of untampered evidence detailing Blake Lively and her team's duplicitous attempts to destroy Justin Baldoni, his team, and their respective companies.
Don't mind me asking.
Oh, of course not. Could you repeat the question, please?
I haven't asked you yet, but how are you and the kids doing?
Oh, well, the children know no better. I mean, they heard that a giant cat was in the street and wanted to go chase it. But we're doing
Say I
well.
blame them.
Sandra will just smile fondly and, like, bump Jack's shoulder with a bit of a smirk. And just his eyes flashing with mischief.
I know that, he's not here right now, but I know that later on in the evening, Erwin will want to come and say a thank you to you. He won't want to admit it, but hearing that there was something potentially wrong with the winery did upset him. He will not want to admit it, but he does care about the old crow.
You and the relatives over at the winery, you guys have a feud or something like that?
He is, Erwin is the brother of Adrian Ivor and his sister. There's 4 siblings in total. He was blamed. He was blamed for losing or potentially stealing something. And they haven't been able to patch their relationship since.
That's why they got sour when I mentioned you.
Unsubstantiated, new and doctored information to the media. It's clear based on our own all-out willingness to provide all
Do you know what
emails, video footage,
the alleged thing that was stolen?
that this is illegal.
A gem. Something quite precious to the winery.
Not win, and will certainly regret. Now, as I said, there is a lot of text messages that have been leaked.
Understand why?
I'll show you some of them. But among the things that were
It's
leaked,
actually what's helping their
a piece of footage from the film set. This is what I saw.
crops grow.
That Blake had made. Instead, he spoke to Ms. Lively out of character himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear down her neck, and he said, "It smells so good." None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Ms.
What I don't understand is why would they accuse a member of their family of stealing it? I mean, if something happens with the winery, then the inn loses customers, loses business. It doesn't make any sense, from a logical standpoint at least.
Some families don't make sense.
Does he know what happened to that gem, by chance?
Unfortunately not. The father thinks that he took it, son claims that he didn't. I mean, I believe my husband when he says that he doesn't know where it is.
If he doesn't know where it is, that's alright. It was more of like, oh yeah, he saw someone take it or something like that, then we can possibly retrieve it, but if he doesn't know what happened to it, then there goes that trail.
All I know is that the old crow is too stubborn to admit that he might be wrong, and my husband is too proud to even admit that he might have done something wrong. In his head, he did nothing. He was blamed for something he didn't do, and then because of that, he's kept contact for a minimum for the longest time. My children have not met their uncles and their aunts and their cousins. They've not met their grandfather. And admittedly, that's by choice. I could have taken them. And I didn't, but you don't need to be listening to this. This is not your fight. You have enough on your plate.
No, but if you need any help, I'm more than happy to. You've helped us out a lot.
Well, if you happen to find the gem on your travels. Who knows where it is now? It was decades ago.
We know where one is, actually. But I can assure you it's not in the place we should be going.
No, very much so. But I'm assuming that you're all wanting your rooms, yeah?
If you have rooms to spare.
Oh, now that I have. Especially since Rictavio has left, we have an even more spare rooms.
And more wine, hopefully.
Just take my one.
At some point, I am going to make sure you are cut off, Saya. Some point.
Nothing against your wine, I don't drink.
She just takes Amira's cup and just starts, because she's already finished hers, and she just continues to drink.
Sandra kind of leans over to Aurora like, thank you. I was going to be the one to do that if nobody spoke up.
Problem.
I do have one other question. By any chance, do you still have your wedding dress? If you had a wedding dress.
And it's from an intimacy coordinator talking about the set footage. So an intimacy coordinator's take on that all good. It ends with this video. Justin Baldoni's team claims the video in which he and Blake started.
But let me go get you room keys, since you don't have any, and then let me know if you're wanting food for the evening. And
A bath, please.
I will get you the water for a bath.
Thank you.
And if there is anything else I can do to help with food or just clean clothing, and she looks down at, like, you've been traveling for a while. That's all I'll say on that. You've been traveling for a while.
Checking that you woke up this morning sleeping with animals.
Aurora nods very eagerly at the, clean clothes. It's like, this is a dream. I get to be clean again.
Sandra kind of raises his hand like, if you don't mind, I can take care of the clothing.
Of course.
You can focus on dinner and wine. I'll take care of it.
Well, at the moment, I'll be focusing on the princess's bath.
Thank you.
We were here royalty, I should dressed up.
And she does give you, like, a smile, though, Aurora, to be like, I'm joking. Like, this is fully meant to be a light dig for fun.
Oh, she doesn't even seem affected by it. Just, like, smiles back. Like, okay, like, thank you, Beth.
Yeah, as I said, Erwin is not in right now, but feel free to follow me about and ask her things, and I will get to them as soon as I can. She just stands up, leaves you all to it, and begins to... You can see her, like, going backwards and forwards between, like, going out to the well outside with a bucket, coming back in, and she's wearing one of those old style, like, milkmaid yokes, so she can carry, like, 2 buckets at the same time.
I'm gonna go help her.
I mean, she looks fine. And I don't know how you would help her other than taking the yoke.
Just grabbing another bucket to help.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just more buckets. More hands make light work.
Oh, fair enough. But you essentially begin following her up and down the outside staircase. So she's taking water from outside to the inside, and then she uses a system of hot rocks where she heats them over an open flame and then puts the rocks in the water, and that's how she creates, like, boiling water.
Oh, that's so smart. I'm usually just used to having cold baths.
Well, I had a feeling that from the looks of her, Aurora has stayed with us for a while, and we are used to her habits by now.
If I pull in the water myself, can I also get a bath? But I'll just have cold water.
You don't need to get it yourself. I'm happy to get it for you.
I know, but you're busy.
I'm not busy. I've finished my task, and now I move on to the next. And also, you are a guest here. You are paying for the service.
Somehow I feel that it's not enough.
Well, if you don't think paying money is enough to have someone do their job, then you feel free to do what you like, but I'm now going to go get you your water.
I'm gonna help you.
Okay. And she does the exact same process again, but for your bath.
Yep, she doesn't have to heat it up either. It's just cold water. Cold water's fine.
Fair enough. Anna, who had listened to that entire conversation a little bit sheepishly, just stands up and goes, I'm going to look for a dressmaker. You can come with me if you wish, or you can stay here. I do not mind either way.
I could go with her.
I have a bath waiting for me, but I would absolutely love to know if you find a seamstress or tailor.
Sonder will also pipe up, like, all of you leave your dirty clothes in whichever room that I have, and when I get back, I will make sure all of them are scrubbed clean to the best of my ability. But I am going to go with Jack for this one.
In that case, then, Irina, she does look upstairs with a little bit of an involuntary shudder. But there's eventually just, like, a bit of a resigned sigh. I'm like, I should probably stay here.
Don't have to if you don't want to.
No point risking it. No point putting myself out there if I don't have to.
Understand. Just don't want you locked up in that room for who knows how long again.
Oh, trust me. If we were doing more than just looking for a tailor, I would join you. But I think for now, I'll stay upstairs. And I can always help Sonder wash clothes or make a start at washing clothes.
Hearing that, his ears kind of perk up a little bit, and he gives Irina a sheepish smile. I wouldn't mind the company.
Well, good.
You're very easy to talk to.
I appreciate that. And she pulls you into like a little side hug.
Oh, he don't do no side hugs. He'll pull her into a full hug and just like pat her gently on the back.
There's a little squeak as she wasn't expecting it, but she does go in for the hug. Alright then, so we've got people having baths, and then people heading to the dressmakers. Saya, what are you doing right now?
That's a good question.
Hmm?
Johnson Bar is proof he behaved appropriately, while her team says it validates her allegations of harassment.
Drown herself in her wine. She might try to take a bath too.
Meet behind the scenes footage.
Yeah, that's fine.
She's kind of half paying attention to everyone around her, but she's also mentally not there either, if that makes sense.
Yeah, seeing how out of it you are, Danica is quite happy to make you a bath as well. So
That'd
she
be good.
sets you up with a room key, sets you up with a bath. Alright.
Yeah. That sounds good.
So,
Probably a stupid question. Are the baths set up in like separate rooms, or are all the baths set up in like one room together?
so no, because of how few people are staying in the inn right now, you've all been able to get separate rooms. And you all have your own individual bath.
Okay.
Okay, we'll leave the people having the bath at the inn at the moment. People heading into the town centre. Again, it's that same atmosphere of... It's waiting for the penny to drop. It's waiting for the other shoe to fall. Something must happen. And people are walking about. They're going about their daily business. But there's just this heavy air of worry and unsurety. That there's this insecurity that you feel coming off the residents of Vallaki. You make it to the town square. And I would like everyone to do an investigation check for me, please.
Slowdown scene concerned ends with us. It's quickly becoming at least a cruder take for photos of the between movie star with lively and proposal.
That is something I can
That's
actually
a fucking
do.
that one. Oof.
And then on the complete other side of the spectrum, the natural 19 for 26. Okay. Jack, with your eye for detail, you immediately see this shop front with multiple mannequins with multiple like different styles of clothing on them. And it seems to be the only one here. But you found it.
The Taylor's right here. That's a calling out for both of them. We'll head on inside.
Very good eye. I admittedly got distracted by a snail. But I'm so glad that we found the tailor.
Walking on in, you see that the entire shop is covered in brightly coloured jackets, different materials, different textures, every colour of the rainbow, separated into men's and women's clothing. There is a lot here. There doesn't appear to be any kind of shop assistant, though. You don't see anyone.
Jack will call out, "Is the tailor home? Or anyone?"
Coming! As this call comes out from the back room, and this bright yellow vision of a woman comes bustling out of the back room. She is very bright in the sense of her very bleached blonde hair has been stacked on top of her head in this very messy beehive, and she's taken 2 knitting needles and stabbed it through the mound just to hold it in place. Her face has been painted in very bright makeup. It's almost to the point of a jester or a harlequin. Her dress is that canary bright yellow, and it is stuffed full of, she's wearing this checkered apron that goes over the top and completely clashes because it's a white and a red, almost a picnic blanket colour. And then she's got handkerchiefs coming everywhere. She's got a tape measure connected to a loop on a belt. She has this Victorian style bustle that is just coming out of the back of the dress, making her maybe 2 times wider than she actually is. And she just waddles into the shop, her dress swaying behind her as she goes. And she gives this big bright smile as she goes, "Why, hello there! And how are we?"
Doing alright. Currently in the market for a wedding dress.
Oh,
Might have any in stock.
I do not have any in stock. Weddings, you see, are a rare occurrence in Barovia. Usually, the dresses are tailor-made. But if you do not have the measurements for the bride, I can work on something that's a little bit more generic that you can always make easy touch-ups at home.
That would be fantastic.
Splendid. Have you seen the bride?
Not once.
So me asking about color will not mean anything. All right then. I will craft something for you that will obviously, and she does a little chef's kiss motion, will be beautiful. And it will suit the bride in any color complexion. I'll try to keep it as universal as possible. Would you like to pay for all of it now and then receive the dress once it's made? Do you want to pay half now, half later? What kind of system are we wanting to do?
First things first, you know how much this will cost?
If it takes as long and it uses the materials that I'm thinking of in my head, it will be 50 gold.
Looks to Anna how much do we have currently?
She takes out the money that you've already given her and then some of her own, and it comes to 22 gold.
Oh.
Alright, so we're gonna have to do some fundraising then. Okay.
Cheaper fabric.
Sonder kind of is like, I have 9, but I don't think that's going to put much of a dent in this.
How long will a project like this take?
Oh, I would say about 2 weeks.
You okay with us putting 20 gold down now and paying the rest whenever we come pick it up?
Of course. There is also the other alternative. I'm aware that it's potentially a little harder to do, but if you don't have the funds to pay for an original dress, I am more than sure that the Baroness still has hers. If you can find a way to get an audience with Lady Watcher and get permission to go see the Burgomaster, you might be able to have a discussion.
This is me laughing, not Jack.
Yeah, Sonder's face kind of goes a little bit white at that.
But it is up to you.
I can busk on the streets. I can just play music and it'll be fine. We'll figure something else out.
We'll put the 20 gold down for right now, and we'll go forward from there.
Alright then. And she takes the 20 gold from Anna, because she's immediately just there like, there's 20 gold. And she begins like writing down like really quickly with this like giant ostrich feather plume of a quill. Just being like, yes. So you have already paid 20. I owe you for 30. Here we go. And she rips off a receipt slip and hands it to Anna. Is that like, just proof that when you come to collect the dress that you have 30 gold left to pay. But if you do come back, say for example, if you do manage to get a different wedding dress from somewhere, you can bring that receipt in to prove that that is how much you've paid, and we can refund you.
Splendid. I do appreciate that.
Anything else for you today? I can see a lovely pompadour jacket.
I fucking love this woman so much. Oh my god.
I appreciate the offer, but I'm tight on cash right now, and
Of course. Say no more. It is hard times we live in.
we'll talk to you soon. If I'm a little bit looser on corn, I'll be more than happy to take a look at your jackets.
Of course. I see. Mustard. As you can see her, like, take one of the handkerchiefs off of her belt and just hold it up in front of you, Jack. Like, almost colour matching the colour of the handkerchief to your skin.
Fair enough.
But please, do enjoy the rest of your day. Please, enjoy a good evening. And remember to lock your doors at night.
Will do. You stay safe.
Of course. Auf Wiedersehen.
Head back on outside.
Well, I know what my evening is going to look like.
2 weeks to make 30 gold. That's doable.
I really didn't imagine us staying here for 2 weeks, but I guess that's fair.
We don't have to stay here for 2 weeks. We head out. We just have to return in 2 weeks.
And
It's
in fairness, Anna says, like, speaking up, you don't have to stay at all. I can be here for the 2 weeks and collect the dress once it's done.
You seem like a very capable woman.
I just need to be able to pay.
Handle yourself. He gestures to the crossbow. If you're comfortable with that, then that is definitely a possibility.
Worst comes to worst, I can go hunting for some meat and try and sell some pelts.
There was that fur trader that we did run across. Although I think it might be a bit dangerous to go up to the lodge, by yourself. That is technically werewolf territory, I've been told. So, if we can find maybe one of the Vistani, or go to the Vistani camp that Amira likes to go to, then maybe we can actually sell some pelts.
Or we could also go talk to the Baroness and see if we can get her wedding dress.
Jack, okay, so
Yeah,
Sandra like gently puts his hands on his shoulder.
It's more of a joke. I know we're not. It is an idea, though.
A very poor idea, considering the information that we have just been given.
We should go talk to the Watcher first, right? See what's going on there. Pretty sure she's an understanding person.
I don't know. Why are humans so complicated?
Get things easy. You wouldn't be on your toes, right?
I guess. I mean, I would rather not be on my toes. I'd rather be curled up with a bit of mead right now, but... I'm getting gray hairs.
I think you were that old, son.
Well, that... that was actually technically a joke. I already have gray hair. And he just shakes his head.
Yeah, I just thought you were just naturally, growing silver hair.
I'm actually still quite young, for a furbolg. Maybe not like quite young, but I am very much a very young adult. I haven't even breached 100 yet.
I honestly don't know how long furbolgs live.
Well, technically, usually around 500 years, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've, seen anyone else.
I'm not sure if it's great or terrible.
Well, it's not, great. we usually have a bit of a herd mentality.
I'm not so much talking about, you not meeting other furbolgs. It's more just how long you live.
Oh, it I guess it depends on who you ask, and what people's definition of living a long and happy life is. But it it can be a little disheartening, when a lot of your friends are human, and they will all die. But I don't like to think about that. Sandra kind of just like throws an arm over Jack's shoulder and pulls him into a hug.
The Hollywood Reporter asked
I'd rather just focus on the good that I have now and not
what stand out for you as an inclusive
a
coordinator.
cold and lonely future, if it's all the same to you.
He keeps pulling away and clearly doesn't want to do that, which is exactly what I said, so I'm glad I'm not the only one who received this.
I
Not saying
understand.
you were going to shoot a scene where characters are kissing, would you discuss that beforehand? An inclusive coordinator would, but there's two main reasons why people will bring on an inclusive coordinator. Either simulated adult scenes or nudity. Anything else that could be considered intimate.
Try making friends with Saya.
In a scene like this, it's really common that you wouldn't bring on an inclusive coordinator because there's no
I-
simulated
She'll probably outlive you.
kissing in the script. We saw that from the script excerpt. I know that there were two
I've been trying
that
to.
wasn't spoken at all.
Don't tell her that I told you, but I'm gonna show her the pumpkin muffin trick that I have. I think she'll be very surprised.
Even though she's played lightly and she can say no and isn't
Think she might like that.
in her mind the way that somebody else might fear,
I've already told her about Simon, so that's not exactly a surprise, but I still think a dancing plant is quite entertaining.
see her teasing him and trying to keep a smile on her face. Again, this is what I was saying, so I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks it, that she was just being a professional in this situation. In terms of the hierarchy on set,
She really needs a friend right now.
I didn't know who he was until
Somebody to rely on.
and so she's I would say she has a significant
People to help pick her back up.
is the director and she's
Um,
him. I was surprised that this is
I know that she's not doing very well,
right. And
and I wouldn't blame her.
the director relationship and the director's in charge. If you were an inclusive coordinator,
I know what she's going through isn't exactly the same thing as
I would have spoken to him about a director, what
us, but it's still.
I would have seen a character who's connect, brush her hair,
He kind of puts a hand over his heart.
and then it would have conversations.
I still feel for her,
For an actor, if they know the plot ahead of time and not put up there,
especially if this is one of
it seemed like this looks so harmless.
the most important people that she's lost.
That excerpt says of the scene description. Sorry, this is like the third video.
It's
So my notes are they're just
gut wrenching. It's heartbreaking, and I really do feel for her. If I can help just a little bit, then that's great.
No matter where you are, Sandra, you always help.
say like is kind of the main takeaway from this.
I don't know about that. Sometimes I can get in the way of things. I'm actually quite big. But if there's anything I can do, I try.
They have this exchange where she apologizes for his beard, and then she apologizes for her.
I don't
And then he
like
says that it actually smells good. According to her,
seeing people in pain.
do you have any reaction to that? This clip really shows how complex it is because obviously
So
makes sense. To say that out of character,
he kind of gives Jack a very wobbly, nervous smile.
but anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. I'm going to keep up with this story, and so just let me know what you think. If you don't leave me a comment
Jack would wrap her hand around his waist,
have you ever seen a movie with Blake Lively in it?
kind of lean into him a little bit. You, my friend, a definition of a gentle giant.
He'll kind of like chuckle and give you a big hug. Kind of like, you know the hug where you pick somebody up and you spin them around?
Mhm.
He gives him that kind of hug and just puts him back down. Well, I guess you could say that. I am giant kin, but I'm not actually full giant. They're a lot bigger than I am, actually.
About 4 months ago, we received a save the date card, letting us know that the third granddaughter will be getting
I should be used gentle goober.
Goober? What is a goober?
Another name for someone who's silly.
Oh, so does that mean that I'm funny?
Yes, you are.
A small smile spreads across his face. Well, I'm glad I can be of entertainment. It's the least that I can do right now. It helps take my mind off of things. But how about we stop talking about me and we talk about you? And he just kind of pokes Jack's cheek.
So we need to get 30 gold in 2 weeks, so I think we should head back to the inn and start talking to everyone, see what we can do.
Well, you see, there's this magical thing called talking and walking. I just figured this out the other day.
I really don't like to do that. I'm more of a walking still silence.
I do believe you are what they call a big fat liar.
Now you bring my weight into this, I see.
Maybe just a tad.
Well, fair enough.
But you see, I have a feeling, and I could be wrong.
You should really stop having those.
I can't really help it. Sometimes you just get that shiver, and all the hair stands up on the back of your neck, and you get that gut feeling that something is wrong. He kind of, like, they'll walk a couple paces, but he'll just stop Jack and, like, put both of his hands on, like, the side of Jack's head and just, like, look him dead in the eyes. Like, I want you to know that you can talk to me about anything, okay? I don't care what's going on currently. If the rest of the world is burning, you can talk to me.
Will these conversations involve you holding my head like this?
No, I just wanted to make a point.
Oh, man. Thank you, Sandra.
Sandra will kind of just, like, pat his head and let go. I apologize if that was uncomfortable. I just wanted to be taken extremely seriously. And usually maintaining quite literal eye contact and keeping it there is a great way of doing that, I've learned. I do apologize if it made you a bit uncomfortable, though. I won't do it again.
You're fine, son.
He just gives Jack a bit of a pat on the back and just, like, a little bit offhandedly mentions, like, as they keep walking, I know you're the type of person to bottle things up and pretend that everything is fine when everything is on fire inside you. And I know that that's hard to ask for help. I know from experience. So if you ever need some of that weight to come off your shoulders, because there is a lot. There is a lot of people depend on you, and that is a lot. People trust you, and they care about you, and that is a lot. And I understand it can be overwhelming sometimes, but I want you to know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need a break, It's okay just to sit down and play a game of cards and have a bit of fun. So please, don't put the world on your shoulders. You don't have to bear this brunt alone.
Thank you, Santa.
Of course. You're part of my pack. I love you, and I'm going to take care of you.
Let's play some cards whenever you're done with laundry.
I think I can figure something out. We can do busking tomorrow. I can ask Aurora if she wants to join in. She has a lute, if I remember correctly. We can play some music. Hopefully that's not against the law, now that I'm actually thinking about it. Well, if we do get arrested, I can at least wild shape out and pretend to be somebody else for the rest of my stay.
And what about Aurora?
That's it. Oh, I'll just make sure that she doesn't get caught. I'll tell her to use her wings and fly away. And then I'll be like, it was me, officer. I did the whole thing. It's my fault. And then when I get thrown in jail, then I can wild shape out. And then I can fly away. And then we can meet back up and I'll be like, hey, it's fine. I escaped. I don't like being behind bars, though. I don't like being in confined spaces, actually, that I don't put myself in there first. Because I'm quite big, and most of the time, nothing fits, and it's a bit cramped. And, my tail hurts.
It's probably not getting arrested in the first place. That'll be beneficial. And we'll go forward from there. We have options on how we can make gold.
That is very true.
We've got capable hands. Places always seem to need help here.
Rebuilding something. Or maybe they... I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We already have one prospect from Blinsky. That one's not what I was wanting to, prospect into as of right now.
No, not really, actually. That place kind of gives me the creeps.
Who knows? They could have a wedding dress. Not Blinsky, but the castle. Two birds, one stone. Be one hell of a bird, though.
I think that bird is more of a rock, actually.
Two rocks, one stone.
Have you ever actually seen a rock before? It's quite large.
The name just sounds hilarious, though.
Well, if you want, I can tell you about it. It's a absolutely massive creature.
They'll just head back to the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
A bullshit conversation.
No, literally.
Completely fair. For the sake of time, we'll say that once everyone has had their bath, they go off and do whatever tasks they want to do for the evening. We can always come back next week if there's anything specific that people want to do.
I want to give Saya a muffin and show her my dancing plant.
Sandra, pants on.
Okay.
No, stop it.
That's to be fair, that's
You just
a.
go around showing people your.
Mm,
Go for it.
I was gonna say, you can't just show people your dancing plan. That's no.
I hate all of you.
But that's a cute bit of roleplay that we can do next week. I'm just aware of the time and that we need to probably wrap it up for the day.
That's so fair.
But what I will say is that when you all go to sleep, you all level up.
No way.
Oh, yay.
So you're now all level 8.
Do we get a long rest too?
Well, yeah, because you're sleeping. I'd hope
I
so.
was gonna say, I should hope.
You never know.
Unless Saya doesn't trance.
But yeah, I'll give you the week to think about it, and then if there's any roleplay that you want to do to be like, oh, we did this last night before we went to sleep, then we can always come back to it. For now, thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Back to our normal schedule now that I'm not an insomniac. Thank you for watching. You can either join us live every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can watch the VOD the following Tuesday on our YouTube channel. Thank you to my players. And all I have left to say is good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I hate Azazel.